Joey Maritz. Where Frans brought discipline and order, Joey Maritz brought warmth, elegance, and resilience. If Frans was the stern detective known as Columbo for his tireless pursuit of cold cases, Joey was the light that made their home glow. Together, they formed a balance, one rooted in strength, the other in grace. A twin bond. Joey was born in 1934, together with her identical twin sister, Rose. As children, they were almost indistinguishable, mirror images of one another. But as they grew older, their personalities began to show in subtle but telling ways. Joey became the more fashionable of the two, drawn to lipstick, makeup, and the art of presenting herself with elegance. Rose, by contrast, had little interest in cosmetics and only wore them when absolutely necessary. A woman of style. Joey was remembered for her sense of style. Lipsticks in neat rows, handbags of every design, and shoes for every occasion were her trademark. When she entered a room, it was never quietly, not because she was loud, but because her presence demanded attention. She carried herself with elegance, a woman who understood that presentation was not vanity, but dignity. She had the natural gift of making her home a place of welcome. Family gatherings, visits from neighbors, or the everyday bustle of raising children were all infused with Joey's warmth. The Maritz household in Kuilsrivier was more than a home. It was a hearth, a place where people felt cared for and included. Marriage to Frans. Life as the wife of a detective was not simple. Frans's work in the Cape Town Peninsula exposed him to humanity's darkest corners. Though he rarely brought the details home, Joey could feel the burden he carried. While he sought justice in the outside world, she held the fort at home. Their marriage was one of contrasts that complemented each other. Frans was structured, serious, and disciplined. Joey was radiant, warm, and stylish. Together, they built not just a family, but a household that became a hub of laughter, love, and belonging. Joey and Frans raised 5 children, 4 sons and 1 daughter. Frans, the eldest, named after his father. David, the second son. Janny, Chad, whose life was tragically cut in 1986. Johanna, the only daughter and the only female-born Maritz of her generation. Colin, the youngest son. Each child's path was different, some marked by triumph, others by hardship. But through it all, Joey stood as a steady presence. She celebrated their joys, carried them through their struggles, and gave them the kind of love that shaped who they became. In time, the Maritz home in Kuilsrivier filled with a new kind of life, the grandchildren. Just as their parents once had, the grandchildren ran through the garden paths, played among the statues, and were scolded for running inside the house. The sound of laughter, footsteps, and occasional mischief echoed through the same walls that had seen their parents grow. Animals, too, were part of this living memory. There were 3 little white poodles and 1 bigger black poodle. One of the small white ones was inseparable from Frans. That little dog followed him on daily walks through Kuilsrivier, a faithful companion who seemed to know he belonged to Frans alone. The black poodle, named Lucy, belonged to Joey. Lucy was as stylish as her owner, with her carefully trimmed coat and a little pink bow tied neatly on her head. She was the pride of Joey's lap, a living reflection of her elegance. And in the kitchen lived an African gray parrot named Polly, sharp-tongued and full of personality. Polly trusted only Frans, and later Colin, to handle him. With their children grown and grandchildren filling the house and garden, Frans and Joey's legacy was already being written before their eyes. The Maritz home in Kuilsrivier was not just a residence, it was the heart of a family. The winding paths, the animals, the stove with its special chair, and the voices, young and old, all told a story of continuity. For Joey, this was her greatest achievement. Not handbags, shoes, or makeup, but a family bound by love, laughter, and memory.